If you've been trying to enhance your service, we've got 10 tips today that are going to help you get there.
Welcome to the Proven Principles podcast by Knowing Hospitality, the show that deconstructs and demystifies the inner workings of the hotel industry. Here's your host, Adam Knight.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. My name is Adam Knight. I'm a 20-plus year veteran of luxury hotel operations and owner of Proven Principles, a hospitality operations consulting firm. And this is our show where we aim to deconstruct and demystify the best practices of luxury hotel operations and try to make them available to you and your business. And we've got a great show for you today. We wanted to put together a list of actionable items that you can put in place immediately that are going to make a difference in how your business runs and how you're perceived by your customers. So we've actually got a top 10 list here today of very easy to implement operational changes and enhancements that are going to help you see an impact immediately. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it here. So number one on our top 10 list here is employing the 5-10 rule throughout your property or throughout your business. So what's the 5-10 rule? Well, the 5-10 rule is if a customer is 10 feet away from you or approximately 10 feet away from you, when they get up into that range, you want to acknowledge them with eye contact. So you want them to know that you know that they're there. And you do that by just lifting your head up and acknowledging them as they're coming towards you. And then when they get within about 5 feet of you, then greeting them, whether it's a time of day greeting or whether it's just a hello, whatever your company or your brand standard is totally fine. But you do a voice acknowledgement. So 10 feet away, eye contact, 5 feet away, voice recognition or a hello, time of day greeting, what have you. Employing that immediately is going to make a marked difference. You're going to be shifting your focus on making sure that the customers aren't the ones that have to open up the interaction with an employee. You are taking a proactive step to engage with the customer immediately. You're the one that's opening the door, and that's going to make a big difference. Okay, moving on here. Number 2. Ending employee conversations when customers are present. This is huge. The last thing that a customer wants to see is a very enclosed group of employees having a conversation about something. And maybe it's not a big group of employees. Maybe it's just 2 employees standing at a desk or standing in a service area that are having a conversation and not acknowledging any customers that come into the space. This just takes away from the environment. It just kills any level of engagement that you hope to have with your customers. It really just sets a really bad tone. So ending your conversations when customers are present and then turning around and hopefully employing that 5-10 rule we just talked about, but just opening the door and making the environment a lot more friendly and ending those conversations when customers are around is going to do that. Number 3. Acknowledging guests when you pass them in the hall. Now, this is another one here where 5-10 rule absolutely can apply, but if customers are coming up and maybe they are in a group and they're coming up towards you as you're walking down a hall, just a quick hello or a nod or a glance is going to let them know again that they know that you know they're there. And you may not want to interrupt a conversation with them, especially again if it's a group of customers coming down a hallway, but just acknowledging their presence, it makes the atmosphere that much more inviting and welcoming, that when you, as an employee, you've got your head up and you're scanning around and you know who's coming towards you when you're coming down a hallway, just acknowledging people is going to go a long way. Again, just to opening up the service atmosphere or the approachable atmosphere that you're trying to get in place in whatever your operation is, that's going to be a big one. Number 4. Now, this one might seem very basic, and it is, but it's hard to do in practice, and it's opening doors for customers. Now, what you don't want to have happen is some very rushed attempt to get a door open for a customer. So if you have to run halfway across the lobby to get the front door for a customer, that's not what we're talking about here. But if you are in the area of the front door and you can see somebody coming up into your hotel lobby or into your restaurant, just simply opening the door for them and acknowledging them when they're walking in. Or if they're on their way out, again, opening the door for them, acknowledging them, wishing them, having a good day, whatever it is. Maybe there's some additional services that you can offer if they're heading out, asking them if they need directions somewhere. Maybe they need a taxi. Maybe they need an umbrella if it's raining. Whatever the situation calls for. But again, it gives you an opportunity just to interact with someone on a very quick basis, but try to anticipate their needs a little bit too. If there's something going on, or if you can kind of tell maybe what it is that they're going out of the building to do, then you can just offer that enhanced level of service. It just gives you one more point of interaction. So opening doors for people, it goes a really long way, especially when it's done in a discreet and refined manner. Number 5, if somebody asks for directions to a specific place in your hotel, in your lobby, in your restaurant, in your business, walking them at least partway to that destination. So rather than pointing and saying, go to the end of the hall and make a left, you'll see it right there. Number 6, time of day greeting. So instead of saying hello or hi when you open up a conversation with a customer, try saying good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So time of day greeting, it just elevates the conversation, it elevates the level of discourse, and just adds a level of refinement to how you interact with your customers. So number 6, time of day greetings. Okay, moving on here to number 7, avoiding jargon and language that's too casual for the environment that you're in. In hospitality operations, we're experts at coming up with acronyms and just industry jargon that every now and then finds its way into a conversation with a customer. And that's absolutely the last thing that you want to have happen. Leave those industry-specific terms and maybe property or company-specific terms in conversations for back of house, conversations amongst employees. Really try to avoid letting terms like ADR and 86th sneak its way into conversations with customers, because it just has a way of coming off as maybe a little bit pompous and maybe a little bit unapproachable when it comes to how customers perceive it. The other side of that coin is using language that's too casual for the environment that you're in. Now, there's nothing wrong with using more approachable language when you're talking to your customers. In fact, a lot of times it actually goes a long way into making the staff seem more approachable. But you have to remember at the end of the day that you're not out there talking to your friends. You're not out with family members in a casual environment. You are still in a place of business, and people are coming in and do expect a certain level of professionalism. So if you can use slightly elevated language when you're interacting with customers, it's going to go a really long way, again, in just tying the whole experience together for them, so they know that they are, in fact, getting a well-trained professional in an environment that they're expecting to have an elevated level of service. Language goes a long way into painting that picture for them. Number 8, offering assistance, not waiting to be asked for it. So this goes back to the very first point that we were talking about earlier, the 5-10 rule, letting guests or customers know that you know that they're there by acknowledging people when they're coming up to you, or even within an interaction that's already going on, anticipating needs by offering service before the customer asks of it. So if they're checking in, you can offer luggage assistance. If they're on their way out of your hotel checking out, you can offer transportation assistance or directions. If they're coming into the restaurant, especially at breakfast time, you could offer them a newspaper. You could bring them out a little bite before their food comes out, getting drinks out to them quickly, offering coffee right out of the gate or juice right out of the gate. There's little things that you can do that just let guests know that you're anticipating their needs and that you're offering things for them that you know that they're going to be asking for at some point, or some guests will ask for you at some point. That elevates the delivery and brings your anticipatory service full circle. Okay, number 9. It's not enough to empower your team to make decisions. You've got to create an environment where your team is comfortable in taking that empowerment and running with it. So this comes down to managers creating the kind of working environment where their teams are comfortable in making decisions and owning situations. As a manager, if one of your team members makes a decision that you don't like, and maybe it went a little bit above and beyond what you typically would have done in a given situation, don't come down hard on your employees for that. Use it as a training opportunity so that they know what to do next time that situation arises, but you're also supporting them and they know that they can make those decisions. And even if it's a little bit out of bounds, there's not going to be negative repercussions or consequences for it. So creating an environment where people are not only empowered, but they're comfortable in taking that empowerment and running with it. It's absolutely huge. And that's what some of the best operations in the world do, is that anybody at anywhere along that sequence of service, if something goes wrong, they have the authority and the ability and the desire to make it right. And finally, we made it to number 10, and this is a big one: tailoring your service delivery to the way that your customer wants to receive it. So if somebody wants to have a very long, drawn-out interaction, be prepared to deliver that. But the flip side to that is if somebody comes in and they just want to get, they just one and done, and they want to get what it is that they came in for, whether it's a quick check-in, whether it's a quick meal, a drink, whatever it is, giving them what they're looking for and then allowing them to move on. So avoiding the very long sequence of service, long explanations, overdrawn employee interactions. They're clearly not there to receive that. They just want to get the product or the quick service and then move on. So you've got to be very present in your interactions to recognize this. But delivering and tailoring your service delivery to how your customer wants to receive it is a huge one. And that's it for today, guys. Top 10 things that you can do immediately to enhance your operation, enhance your service delivery. I hope you get a ton of value out of it. And in fact, if you implement any of these, I'd love to hear from you. You can find us at theprovenprinciples.com. Drop us a line through the website. Let us know how it went. We love hearing stories about your business, about your operation, and any value that you receive out of the content that we're producing. So again, theprovenprinciples.com. Drop us a line. Let us know how it goes. So that's it for today, guys. I really appreciate you listening, and we'll catch up with you again on another episode.
Thanks for listening to the Proven Principles Podcast with Adam Knight. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. The podcast is brought to you by Knowing Hospitality, a full-service hotel management company that puts your performance first by rethinking the management model. Visit knowinghospitality.com to learn more. Until next time.